What's up, guys? So today I will be talking about one single trait that girls will do if they want to be approached or they want to talk to you. Now, it's going to be a very subtle thing, subtle, but it is something that girls do. And basically, obviously, there's the common one where they like make eye contact and then they immediately like dart away because they're too shy to maintain eye contact. But what I'm going to be talking about is simply that they will walk away from the herd, as you can say, to position themselves in a way where they might be willing to be approached. Now, this is more so in social settings, like in high school, like your homecoming dance or something like that, where there's usually modern pop music, bumping up in the air, and then the girls are in herds and they're dancing together. And mainly it's, girls typically will be in groups. They will have their friends around and they'll go into these things with friends. And I'm mainly talking about when they are with their friends or something or other. If they're alone with their boyfriend, okay, that's probably not what I'm talking about. But usually in these social settings, or even like a party, or maybe just like a casual professional dinner social event or something like that, when they're talking in groups and stuff, or maybe not even something like this, when they are just in some sort of place where there's a lot of people and they are looking to be approached or something like or other, they will position themselves away from the herd. And this is something I've been told as advice from girls many times, mainly via YouTube videos or articles or in person or some other event. Reddit's a big one. But basically, if a girl makes it her way to be alone, especially when it's very rare for her to be alone, like you always see her with friends, then most likely it is not a coincidence. If it happens once, it's not a coincidence. If it happens twice, you better do something, because she will not do it 3 times, because girls will be impatient like that. And it's not their fault. Sometimes they might not be as desperate as you, because girls usually tend to have more options than guys, and they're looking for a guy who's willing to man up and approach. And that's just how it is. They're not being mean to you, and they're not trying to break your heart. They're not taking it that serious. Why? Because they have more options. They're not looking to marry right now. And so don't take it badly if she just doesn't do it anymore after the second time. But yeah, this has happened to me few rare times, and sometimes it's very, very subtle, to the point where they will just naturally position themselves on the outskirts of a group of girls dancing together in a circle, when naturally they wouldn't have to, because maybe they're looking to be approached or something or other. And maybe it's not even at a sort of nightclub event or something like that, because look at me, I've never gone to them. I'm mainly drawing from other events, like homecoming dances, or just social events, or just maybe just walking around in the school. And there's this one instance that I really want to bring up. It wasn't even a dance, okay? It's happened on occasions when I went to homecoming dances and so forth, but usually those are very subtle, to a point where they're just dancing alone and possibly eyeing you. And here's the thing, all of it's going to be so subtle to a point you don't notice. Eyeing is another topic altogether, but a lot of girls just, they will not do it. They will not do it for you to notice. They will just eye you and then look away immediately if you eye them at the same time, because they're scared, they're nervous. And so it's not really like they're doing it to get attention. they're scanning the room, and they kind of want you to, but they're scared that they might get rejected if they see that they're, giving off too much of a vibe that they're interested, and you reject that. So I wouldn't rely too much on eyeing. The underlying point, guys, is just man up and do it. I mean, if you're looking for all these things, you're gonna end up like how I did in high school, which is, I would not approach, and then I would look back, thinking about the event, the day or week after, and realize, wow, she gave a lot of signs. I have so much regret. And then it'll happen again and again, and then now it's years later, and you realize, well, that's that. I screwed up on a lot of opportunities. I guess I have regrets. Moving on, and then that's you get nothing out of it. Okay, so underlying message: just man up. Okay, man up. Don't keep looking for these signs and stuff. I know it's hard to man up, but the key is just to take rejection on. Okay. Expect rejection if it happens. Take it like a man. Take it to your chest, and then keep going. I know it's really hard, but the people who succeed the most will have no problems, with the chumps who end up being too afraid to do it. So it's really down to you. Are you willing to step up to the plate and outcompete other people, or not? Anyhow, down to my story, okay? This was probably one of the biggest signs, and at the time I thought it was it was very subtle, to a point I was like, I don't know. But here's the scene. Senior year of high school, we had this sort of event. It's called like the Chipotle event, and it was after school hours. Basically, for seniors only, you could pay like a fee, and then you could eat unlimited Chipotle. It was like a Chipotle buffet, pretty much in the cafeteria, and it was sort of like a Mexican style social event for seniors only. And it was just like an end of the year sort of activity. Now, there's this girl there, and she was blonde, she was white, and I don't know, she was, first off, she was like top of the social ladder, had like something ridiculous in terms of friends. Like back at the time at Facebook was popular then. I mean, I don't think it really matters, but she had like thousands of like 3,000 friends on Facebook, and the average norm on Facebook was like 400 friends for average student. And she was like obviously at the top of her Facebook ladder, and just naturally, socially, she had tons of friends. But the biggest thing was, at the time, I gave no craps. Like I didn't care about any of that, and I just treated her as an equal, because all I cared about was grades at the time. I would give no fucking shits. I would, and I showed that in class. I would interrupt her in class just because all I cared about was getting A's in all these gifted and talented, high level, above average level classes that I was taking. I was taking advanced placement classes all over the board. So all I was caring about was getting good grades. And I didn't care if you were the highest of social ladders. I would interrupt you and do all this stuff to get my clear understanding of the subject. And I guess I showed that in class, and she liked that, which is why I think she possibly fancied me. I don't know. And so, obviously she was at the top of the social ladder. I was at the bottom. I sat alone during lunch, and I ate with the freshmen when I was a senior. And then the freshmen, they didn't really understand what was going on. It was like, "Oh, you're a senior?" And they kept to themselves, but sometimes they annoyed me because they thought they were like, "Oh, this guy's eating alone and he's a senior. He must be a loser." So they would like annoy me and stuff. But the point of the matter is, I was sitting there, right? And we went to this social event, and I was just like, free food, whatever. And I wasn't feeling it because all these seniors were talking amongst themselves, and I was sitting alone, and I was just like, this is not for me. And if you've seen my previous videos on food, I love food. I love an event like this where I can eat like $30, $40 worth of Chipotle for $10 at a buffet. And the thing is, because of the social environment, it just overpowered my love for food. And I was like, I ate one bowl and I was just like, I can't stay in this place any longer. So it was dwindling down anyways. I arrived late on purpose. And so everyone was pretty much leaving. And there was like this really, really lame sort of dance thing going on in the cafe, not the gym, to follow up. And our gym was huge. And everyone had left the cafeteria pretty much. And I just peeked in the gym, and it was just a giant empty mess. There's no one there. A couple like senior students like dancing in a circle, but it was so few that no one bothered to join. And our school was pretty small, but if we really wanted to, there could have been hundreds that showed up, but no one did. I mean, a lot of people went to the cafeteria, hundreds, but no one went to this gym, and it was just very lame. Like, there was obviously a DJ, and there's a bunch of like lame stuff there, like a moon bounce, but no one wanted to do it. So it seemed like everyone was pretty much just going back home and stuff. And I was like, I really wanted to kind of dance and be social and meet people and stuff and talk to people, but at the same time, I'm scared. So I just kind of, I was walking from the gym back to my car after hovering around the cafeteria, hovering around the gym unnecessarily for a while. So I was walking back, and obviously this girl, first off, I don't want you guys to get the wrong perception. This girl was never, she was never in any way prissy or elitist or I'm better than you or in any way snobby. And I don't want you to get the wrong perception. She was in fact always very down to earth and humble and treated me as an equal. And she always. And every interaction I had with this girl, she was always, very, very down to earth and humble, which was very surprising because there was also girls who were elitist. I mean, there still are a lot of snobby girls in high school, and I don't think it was something I did. It was just her as an individual. She never really thought of herself as better, and she would treat everyone like this, like as equals, and she was very social and nice. And it was just because of her beauty and because of how things were that she was she had lots of friends, and she was socially like thousands of friends and stuff. But in no way was she, elitist or rude. And so anyways, the point of the story is I was walking back to my car, and obviously this girl is one who is never alone. And yet, all of a sudden, she pops up out of nowhere. Like it was a like empty hallway out of nowhere, and then she goes up to me with like this weird sort of face on. Like, looking back, I would describe it as neutral, and at the same time like sort of like creepy or whatever. Not like, I mean, it wasn't creepy, but she said something like, "Hey, how are you, Will?" or something like that. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, good, how are you? And at the time I said it in a way where I was just kind of down in the dumps. I didn't really care. I was sick of eating alone, and I just said that, and I went along my way. I did not. I just maybe I hovered a little bit, and then maybe she said good, but then I just kind of left after that. And looking back now, it was just very strange because this was a girl who had lots of friends. She was never alone, and if she chose not to be. And at the time, I just thought, maybe she just, decided to go to the bathroom alone or something. I mean, people will be alone. But this was no average person. This was a girl who was very popular. She most definitely came into the event, and then as soon as she entered, boom, lots of friends, lots of people around her. And then she left. She definitely could have left. This was a girl who I for sure knew, like, for homecoming events, homecoming parties and stuff, the homecoming dance, for sure. She was the girl who left the homecoming dance to go to an after party, and maybe a second after party after that. And so, here I am in a completely different world, I cared about grades. I cared about the future, medical school, stuff like that. That's how I thought, I was never into this party scene in high school or whatever. Fuck that shit. I was into grades. And so, here I was, excuse the cursing, by the way. I would rather not curse at all, but sometimes it is the best way to describe an event. I'm sorry, I don't like cursing. But, here I am. And looking back, it seemed crazy. And this is just an occurrence, at least I feel, of an event where if a girl chooses to isolate herself and be alone, especially a girl of high social status who's never alone, it is in no way a coincidence. Looking past that to all the years after that in my experience with high social status girls and stuff like that. And I'm not talking, prissy girls who go to sororities and stuff. You can have lots of friends and therefore high social status without being a prissy bitch or anything like that. But this girl was in no way like that. She was always humble, always nice. But looking at her appearance and stuff, she was the stereotypical, girl who you would think would be like that in high school. In fact, she's in like a sorority now, I believe, and she's like she seems like she's like the queen of her sorority. But just because I know her, she's in no way what she appears. Anyhow, looking back, it seemed very, very strange, and yeah, it's just another instance of how these things are not coincidences. If it's an average girl or normal girl, sure. Me, I was always alone, and it was a norm. Like, being alone was like, okay, nothing new. But looking back, and I guess I didn't notice it at the time, but for her to be alone was not in the norm. And so, that's my story. And do I have regrets? Do I have, am I saddened by that? In a way, yes, but at the same time, it's like I was not, up to par at the time. And I proved that to myself at the time by not really approaching, always being too scared, and instances were like this where I let something pass. And, that's just how it is. So in a way, regrets aren't really something you should dwell on because you can't change the past. The only purpose of regrets in the human sort of conscious response system is to improve you for the future. So if you never take that and improve, then regrets are completely useless to you. In fact, they will hurt you. You just be so stuck up on the past that you'll be depressed, and that's the only thing regrets will do to you. They will depress you and make your future happiness worse. So in a way, all I can do is use those regrets and improve in the future so that they don't happen again. And I know now that that would probably not happen again if it were to occur. And yeah, that's the really only use for it. There's no point in being sad or anything of it. And I'm sure she's definitely found a better guys now. I don't know about me currently, if I'm worse than her current guys. Maybe in certain ways I am, but definitely the past me back in high school was definitely worse. I mean, I was a mess in terms of just being too scared to even talk to girls, let alone other stuff. But you know, currently she has a boyfriend, so she's obviously found her way, and I'm happy for her because I really think that for her in the entirety of high school, guys were just too intimidated by her, and that's why she was single all 4 years. And I guess she finally found someone. So great props to her. And you know, I can definitely relate because me and her were two people who were unique in that we were single all 4 years in high school. So I could relate. I mean, everyone had boyfriends and girlfriends. And so, yeah, I wish her the best, and I hope you guys liked my story. I'll see you guys later, and peace.